Hi, good morning, welcome. How you doing today? I am Kim, your party artist and host. Well, I should say Kim Overholt, KimOverholt.com. I am your party artist for all kinds of art and entertainment and having a whole whack of fun. And I'm glad you're here and I hope you're having a great day. Let me just raise this up a little bit. I'm here at my studio, Overholt Art and Entertainment Studio, where the fun of creating is always being made. And I am your hostess with all the toasts. My name's Kim Overholt. Let me just raise this so I'm not cutting off my head. Hi. Ooh. And I got light reflecting on there somehow. Where's that coming from? Anyways, if you want to see more about my art, check out my website, KimOverholt.com. And yes, I always wear tube tops because it's summertime and the weather's fine and you can stretch right up and touch the sky. I'm always enjoying the summertime, and I don't want to stick around for too long. I want you to just have a little bit of art, enjoy what I have to show you, and then go off and do your own thing. You don't mind me, okay? So I'm just going to continue from where we were leaving off last, and I'm going to show you. Hello, this is my studio back here too. Oh, and my recent painting. Oh, okay. I'm working on it. I'm an artist. I also do a little bit of. I like to do a little acting as well. I love the theater. I have my microphone and once in a while, I like to record and do like some silly stuff with animation. I try all kinds of stuff to see what works, right? And it's my own stuff. I don't want to show you guys right away because it's kind of like silly, but I'm silly enough as it is. I came up with some ideas of what I can use with this, so I'll be showing you some examples in a little while. Well, not today, but in time you will see. All right, plastic. And of course, like I showed you, my picture that I had an idea from that turned into an actual painting, which I'm not quite finished yet, as there's still a lot to do, and I've seen so many great ideas that there's more to do on that one, and lots of stuff to be done today. But I want to show you a little bit about my favorite subject, not at all, because I'll tell you why. Hold on a second. I'll tell you why. Because here's the thing. I have a problem with perspective. Yeah, I do have a problem with perspective. What it is that like I did it in college, I did it in high school, but for some reason, like my lines sometimes don't interact properly. Anybody else out there have that problem when you do perspective? Has anybody else out there done perspective before? Well, let me tell you, it's not as easy as it seems. And I tried to do it one time, and like I say, I think I'm doing really good. And then, okay. Anyways, I'll teach you a little bit about. Oh, come on. Don't tell me this is going to run out too. It was working so good yesterday. I gotta find another one. Where's my eraser? I'm going to erase that and print it with something else. Let's try green this time. Let's say green. Oh, brother. I don't think it's green. All right. P. E. All right. One of my favorite subjects, perspective. Okay, and it's cool, especially if you love the, cartooning, and there we go. If you love cartooning, oh man, that's too bright. Okay, put it over that way. If you love cartooning and comic books, I was going to say comic books. Yeah, you'll love doing perspective. Hold on. Sorry, of course, on my sheet here. There we go. I'm such a perfectionist. Not. No, one thing I've always learned is there is always room for improvement. So I'm always, I'm okay at perspective, but I could be better. And maybe by doing this and showing you this, maybe I'll get better at it as well. Let me just try a couple of markers to see if this one runs out. I'm gonna have a couple on hand. So, oh, all right, we got a great one. My other green works great, so I'll use that green instead. Eraser. Perspective. Yeah. So, ta-da! We're gonna tell you. 1 point perspective is always the easiest. Easiest. It's the one that you see. It's very simple, just making a straight line. And then you make a point in the middle of that straight line. Well, in the middle of the straight line, you don't have to make it right above it. But and then what you do is you draw a line. So from one end to the other. Although it looks like a triangle shape at the moment, it almost looks like it also does take, it has to do with balance too. You can balance it out. It all is on perspective, right? So where you see things, your horizon line, and in that horizon line is that dot that you follow from the distance all the way out to the outside. And I'll show you what I mean. We used to do this one in grade school. So, I mean, if you haven't done this one before, this is always the one that I like when you make a giant, let's say you make a little telephone pole right here. And then you come along here and you go a little bit further back and you make another telephone pole that's a little bit smaller. But it still looks the same. And like I say, I'm terrible with the perspective, so you have to forgive me. And then you go to here and it kind of goes like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to show you. All right, so it kind of like goes into the distance kind of thing. Like if you put a wire, you can stringing it like that, like a wire going across. So it looks like the road's coming at you. And lines get bigger as they get closer to you. Yeah, so it gives you that feeling that things are farther away from you. So like you can make a cactus in the distance over there. We always have made it like a little sunset. So you can make like a sunset over here. Have like a cactus over here, and then have a bigger cactus over here to show you perspective of that one compared to this one here. Perspective. So that one's like further away over here. And that one's a bit closer over here. Of course, proportion is like way out of proportion. That's another one to talk about at another time. But yeah, just to give you an idea of like. Of course, like the shadow. So kind of, and of course the shadow gets longer as you. Perspective. Again, like I say, it's not one of my best subjects. It's one of those ones where you have to really sit down and just kind of concentrate on making things that were small in the background and making them look bigger. So if you wanted to, you could add like a curb on the side of the road that kind of goes from thick to thin kind of thing, and makes it look. And again, if you want to make the telephone pole a little bit thicker here and a little thinner over there, it also gives you this sense of proportion too. So there you go. So things look bigger as they're closer, and as they get smaller as they go further away. 1 point perspective. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And this is where it gets interesting when you get into 2 point perspective. And this is like when I was in college, we did a lot more of the 2 point perspective. And there's like 3 point perspective, especially if you want to do like I'll show you. Okay. Looking at things from all angles, okay? Here's an interesting thing. 2 point perspective kind of goes like this. And it's a little bit different from 1 point. 1 point, you're only looking at 1 point there. 2-point perspective, you're looking at, like, say, 1 point over here and 1 point over here, your horizon line as well. But, don't take it as like what you do is you make a line. And from that perspective, you can make a line kind of going like that to there, that to there. And, of course, yeah, it helps to use a straight line, like use a ruler. Straight with your hands is not the easiest thing to do. So 2-point perspective is like this. So you're like looking at the side of a building now. That's your horizon line. You can get rid of that. Like that. And now you have like the shape of a building kind of going off into the distance. You can like break it off into, well, you can also make it look like a fence or something. And it all depends on what part, where on the street you are, kind of thing. There's all kind of make it look like, okay, there's like a fence on the sidewalk. I have like a little, one of my comic books has something like this, similar to that, where they're in the road, and this is like the sidewalk here, and then there's like the fences like gated, and there's like a tear in the actual fence where people can jump over the fence, kind of thing. And on the other side, there's like, I guess that would be in the perspective there, in the background, keeping those lines in mind, those horizon lines. You can see that there was like a house back there. So now the house will follow these lines, kind of like that. That line will go kind of like to there, kind of thing. There's like a house that's kind of in the background, kind of like that. So kind of like side. And then you can like make the roof kind of like that. Okay. You got to keep in mind where so it kind of be like that. Again, always keep in mind where your lines are going. And that's the thing, you have to kind of just balance it all out. And then when you're done, you get rid of all of the extraneous lines, and then you're left with like a house with a fence that's kind of down, and you can like see over the fence into the yard, kind of. Yeah. Like very rough, so I can just give you the basic idea. So this is like 2-point perspective. Okay. 3-point perspective is a little bit different from that as well. So 3-point perspective, you also have to use another extra point. Let me see if I can give you an idea of 3-point perspective. It has it here. Sorry, give me 1 second. That's all 2-point. It shows you actually that the example that it gives is like a room. But yeah, my idea with the building, that's 2-point perspective. 3-point perspective is a little bit more interesting, and that's when you're from above, you're looking at something. So it makes it a little bit more interesting. So of course, so you like 2-point perspective and 3-point perspective. So you could be. Oh shoot, I can't remember how it goes, if it's from the bottom and kind of, because you, give me 1 second. The thing about going live is like, yeah, I can't really recall off the top of my head. I have to look. Perspective. And it's usually like when you're doing above, like when you're doing all the, what you call it? Cartoons, like when you do the comic book 3-point. Okay. Well, anyways, I'll just basic idea of 3-point perspective. So, of course, it's the 2 on the side, and then there's one like kind of comes from like over here. So you're kind of like, I give the idea of looking down on a building. So just bear with me because I have to think about it. Okay, so
Is it coming this way? Is it going that way? And then kind of come. So you're looking. Oh yes, that's right. So it'd be kind of like a diamond. Like if you're looking at a building, it would be kind of like a diamond shape kind of thing. Bear with me. Okay. So it gives you like a little bit like you're looking over top and down on something. So it would also give you like a almost like a cubish shape, Now you're like 2-point perspective, but 3-point perspective is like when you have to have that extra angle on there to be able to see where, say, like roofs of like different houses as you continue into the distance kind of thing. So 3-point perspective. And like I say, usually this is when you see, like you can do it from below. And this is when you see, what's his name? Spider-Man coming in and he's jumping from limb to limb across the city buildings and stuff like that. See, I know it, but at the moment I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. It's very rough. And I say always pen, pencil, eraser, always like, do it, redo it again. You know what? If you want something to take up your time, perspective is always the best. And it helps you to look at things from different angles too. So, I mean, it's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to know. It's not if you use it for any kind of like I say, cartoons, comic books, that kind of thing. It's always good, even on the human body, because some angles, you can come straight ahead, but some things you see coming from the distance, you wouldn't know how to put it in proportion if you didn't. Kind of perspective. So a quick little thing on that. What I would suggest if you want to try it again, like I say, is just sit down and give yourself a little bit of time and just play with it. You can come up with all kinds of like things you can color too. It's multi things you can do with perspective. I have a few old things that I have to kind of go through. I made a whole bunch of these like little butterflies. Well, I didn't make them. They came in the dollar store, but I was going to make them into like a little mobile. So I might do that today. Paint these all little things in here and make a nice little mobile because, I am kind of creative that way. And it would be kind of neat to have something fast and fancy. And I'll figure out the way to kind of string them all together and make a nice little mobile for somebody. Christmas is coming. So I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't want that for Christmas. That's stupid. Give me money. Right? Everybody wants money. They don't want anything crafty. And I know. One year, when I was younger and thought, money didn't matter, I made a whole bunch of puppets for my nephews and nieces and made them. So as soon as they took one look at it, they were like, I'm going to go play with something else. Thank you. It's like, oh, okay, not what I expected. I guess maybe it's because I had to have a better handle on it at the time. Then they were quite young. But even today, I find that even if you can make something nice, and people do appreciate. Some people do appreciate, but most people, they want something that's like, you bought it. Oh, that's something really nice. But if you bought it from somebody else, that makes all the difference too. I don't know. Maybe it's just my style. Maybe some people don't like my style. And that's the thing too. You could have people that just kind of like look at your stuff and go, yeah, it's not my cup of tea. But for some people it would be. That's the thing about life, right? It's always like, maybe no. And you know what? I appreciate you hanging out with me. And you know what? I try to keep it short and sweet for, you guys have stuff to do, and I have a busy schedule ahead of me as well. Well, sun and fun, it's summertime. I like to just try and get darker if I can, and hang out in my backyard, enjoy my company. I'm one of those. artists that don't mind being by myself. But you know what? I love the crowds. When I used to do my paint nights and had people like 40, 50, almost 100 people at one point, that was fun. And yeah, I'm a big thing for crowds. And then unfortunately, we don't do that anymore. So, I mean, when it ever comes up again, if you need anybody assisting with the crowd, like I say, I got a speaker system, I got microphones, and I got music, and I've got my art, and I've got all kinds of wild things that I do, balloons, face painting, whatnot. So, I mean, if you don't want art, you can maybe get entertainment. Because it's here at Kim Overholt's Art and Entertainment Studios. And I appreciate you being here. And I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you keep out of trouble because, I mean, trouble's always lurking and trying to find you. Don't let it find you, whatever you do. Okay? Keep safe and be aware. And I want to get close to you. I'm going to get close to you because you know what? Nobody gets close anymore. Hey, have yourself a fantastic day, okay? Scary. I know, I got too close. Yeah, at least you don't have smell-o-vision. You don't have to smell my stinky breath. I'm kidding. I do. I whip the dandruff.